It's a new era for women's basketball at Wisconsin. I am so excited to have Coach P join the show to talk about it all. That's coming up next. Locked On Badgers. Let's go.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is going on, Badger fans? Welcome to Locked On Badgers, your team every single day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Ryan Herrings, as always. Really do appreciate you being here. Today's episode brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. And I say this all the time, when we get great guests on, we don't waste any time. We jump right into it. Coach Pingeton, Wisconsin Badgers head women's basketball coach. So excited to have you on the show. I want to ask you, first couple months on the job, what has it been like?
Well, it's great to be with you. I appreciate the opportunity, and it's been busy to say the least. I've often referenced it as drinking out of a fire hydrant, but it's been every day I wake up, I can't wait to get here. We've been busy, obviously, starting off with the portal. I think we had, it might have been 20 plus visits and 25 days. Like, it was just action packed there for a while, hit the ground running. Had an opportunity to have 5 different camps, which was, great. Just the community outreach. Had several evaluation periods that we needed to be out recruiting at. We had a team retreat. We've been working on skill development and skill workouts with our players. We've had several unofficial visits, several official visits. And we've really put a premium on connecting with the staff and high school coaches, around the state of Wisconsin.
Oh, is that all? Just those things?
I haven't found a house yet, but hopefully that'll be happening sometime soon.
Amazing. So let me ask you this, and there's a bunch I want to get into. I'm going to run out of time before questions, but what has the reception in state been like? Because this has been a program at Wisconsin that hasn't hit the heights that a lot of people wanted to hit.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I think there's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, new and different. And, I think eyes wide open, wanting to see, what this is going to look like for us as a new staff and a new team on the court. So, but I said it in my press conference, but I really believe this. The people are what makes the place. Really blessed in Madison. It's a beautiful place. We've got a lot of great facilities, incredible community, but it's the people that I think that make it really special. And it's been fun to connect with so many high school coaches, AU coaches, and just members in the community as a whole.
Well, I'm sure coming in, you had awareness of the program, kind of what it is, what it's done. Has anything surprised you in your time here so far?
That's a great question. I don't know that anything surprised me. But just feel super blessed to be here. We're putting in a lot of hours right now, and but yeah, I don't know if anything's like really surprised me, but I don't know that my expectations really. I just came in eyes wide open, ready to get to work, knowing that we had a great opportunity in front of us.
Something Chris McIntosh said at the opening presser, which caught my eye. He said, quote, "Make no mistake, it won't be easy, but we believe it can be done. It's going to take work, but we believe this program can get to the point where maybe some of these other women's programs that Wisconsin have gotten to." Can you talk a little bit just about embracing that challenge and kind of building something in Wisconsin?
Yeah, for sure. I think also in my press conference, I talked about this being a sleeping giant, and I still, feel that same way. There's no denying that success has been hard to come by here over the last several years. Without a winning season, that I think shapes the perception. But from the outside, it probably feels like we just haven't, things just haven't clicked. Like this was a program stuck in the cycle of unmet potential, perhaps. But I didn't take this job because of where it's been. I took this job because where I think it can go. We're not running from the past, but we're also not letting it define us. I think there's real opportunity in the alignment, bringing together the right people, the right values, building something, with staying power. There's a lot of programs that have done that here at the University of Wisconsin, and you're right. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take some time. I'm not the most patient person you'll ever meet, so we hit the ground running and excited about what we've done, but know we've got a lot of work ahead of us.
This is a tough question, but what is a successful year one for you? What's a successful 25-26 season look like for you?
Um, that's a good question too. I would just say, really the alignment becomes so important in regards to how we show up every day, what our non-negotiables are in our work ethic, and the behaviors that align with, winning at a high level. You're bringing players in and coaches, brand new coaching staff, a new roster, and players that haven't played for us before. And so that alignment becomes really key. And I think us showing up as the best version of ourselves every day and continuing to stack the days. I don't want to put a ceiling on what I think this team can do. We certainly know we have a lot of work, but I think, anytime you build a house, what do you want to be the strongest part of it? It's the foundation, right? And so we've really invested in what that needs to look like on a day-to-day basis, individually and collectively, and we just hope to build on it one day at a time.
I'm excited to dive into parts of this roster with you, but I want to start with you as a coach. What are you schematically, X's and O's, like what type of coach are you offensively, defensively? I know you like to get on transition. Mizzou was really good there last year. Defensively, I know there's a mix of zone and man principles. How would you kind of describe yourself for the hoop heads out there as a coach?
Yeah. Well, number one, we love skill development. That's a big part of our system, and so we'll start with that. But we do want to play in transition. I think to grind it out in the half court against teams in the Big Ten or the SEC, that makes it really challenging. So we want to play up tempo. We want to have multiple pushers. We want to play positionless basketball, and so we're recruiting players that align with that. Have that skill set that can play multiple positions. It's a motion offense, and so there's a lot of reading and reacting and understanding spacing. And so there's got to be an IQ piece that goes along with that. So the development and the film sessions, all of that becomes a big part of what we do. And then defensively, transition defense is huge, right? You've got to be able to limit points per possession from other teams. And so how we stop that transition. And then that will vary from game to game. We're really scouting report based, primarily man. We'll want to extend our defense into the full court as often as we can when it makes sense. I'm not afraid to throw out a zone, but I would say primarily man-to-man defense.
And then I want to dive into the roster a little bit here. Getting Ronnie Porter back, what does that mean for this program? How big of a win for you guys was that?
Yeah, it's really awesome how it happened so organically, to be honest with you. When we came in as a staff, our paths had crossed several times. We reached out to her, had some casual conversations, but really, I knew if this was going to work, it had to be very mutual and not us talking Ronnie into staying, but her wanting us as much as we wanted her. And so, really grateful that she allowed us to share who we were and share our vision and what that looked like. And, it just, we're blessed how organically that happened. But she was very successful, in her time here. She's got a great story, right? From when she came in as a freshman to where she's at now. So a very talented young lady that's experienced. She's got a lot of games in her belt. She's played a lot of minutes. And she's played on the big stage under the bright lights and has done really, really well. And so we feel really blessed. It's so fun. She's having a blast out there. She's working really hard. I think she's really embraced and wrapped her arms around, what our vision is and the culture that we want to create in that locker room and the style that we want to play. So it's been a lot of fun having her back. It's going to be fun to go to battle with her this year.
Coming up, where can Ronnie Porter take that next step? Where is she continuing to grow as a player? But first, a quick second for our friends of the show over at Drip Drop. If you're trying to stay on top of your routine, whether that is in class and you're studying or you're on the golf course, whatever it is, hydration is so incredibly important. That's where Drip Drop comes in. I got mine right here. Again, I've talked about it. My kids love this. My family loves this. It is an ultimate part of staying healthy and staying on top of your game because you got to stay hydrated. Drip Drop is a doctor-developed, scientifically proven fast hydration tool. It uses the perfect balance of sodium electrolytes and glucose to help your body absorb fluids quickly, delivering 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of the leading sports drink. It tastes great. Less sugar, more electrolytes. It is absolutely incredible. Right now, Drip Drop is offering Locked On listeners 20% off your first order. Head over to dripdrop.com. Use promo code LOCKEDONCollege. That's dripdrop.com. Promo code locked on college for 20% off. Stock up now before this heat continues to beat you down. Go get your drip drop right now. Dripdrop.com. Code locked on college for 20% off your first order. What do you think her next step is? Because, players started the last 2 years, averaged 8 and 5. I thought defensively, she was one of the bright spots on the team last year. I think really tough in a pick and roll defender. Where's her next step at?
Yeah, I think for Ronnie, you're right. There's so many things that she does well. I think for us to be able to have, other players that can also play that position. So she's not playing the extended minutes that she's playing. That's, a lot of wear and tear on the body over the course of the season. And so I think by, having multiple players in that position, that's going to help her even be better than she was last year. But I do think, the consistency from that 3-point line will help her. A lot of times, in watching film, teams just continue to go under ball screens on her, which makes it harder to go, downhill. But allowing her to play in transition, I think that's where she's at her best, to be able to get a piece of that pain. And, she's got a high IQ. I think she's the ability to see plays develop before they actually develop. And so her ability to share the ball and get people involved in our offensive scheme. But I think the system in regards to playing in transition, then also just working on being more consistent with a 3-point shooter is going to be really big for her.
Yeah, I love that. And I think she has that in her bag. I think once that clips, her ability to get downhill magnifies everything.
It's a game changer. I mean, it really is, when they have to respect you from that 3-point line. And so, for us, it's just building that confidence and empowering her to, be willing to take that early shot. And she's putting in the work. All of our players are. I mean, they're doing a lot more than what's required in the 4 hours that we get with them based on what the NCAA says we can do. And so I know they've all been trying to get over 1,000 shots in a week and have been working really hard. And so, for us to just empower her and build that confidence, I think is going to be really important.
I'd love to talk about the portal additions as well. There's a lot of new faces on this team that Badger fans may not know yet. I want to start in a big picture, though. How difficult is it to take, I think there's 8 new players on the roster, several new coaches, a new scheme, to fit all these pieces together?
I just think, again, it goes back to the alignment. And that's why, as anxious as we are to get on the court, or as anxious as we were when they got here in the middle of June, again, it goes back to that alignment piece, and just making sure, not only from a system standpoint, but even more importantly, the standards and expectations and the behaviors and how we're going to show up every day. What does that practice environment look like? And how do we practice at that level consistently? How do we hold ourselves accountable? How do we hold each other accountable? Like, these things become so important. And, if you don't have that, if you don't have these intangibles, it's going to be really hard to sustain success on the court. And so really laying that foundation in that early week. And then we got on the court and we've just been, just stacking days in regards to our install and what that looks like. But I think the alignment is the most important part, is when you build a program, and then building trust. I think we all know that takes some time. And so creating that space where players feel seen and valued and, safe to be who they organically are, I think is really important. And then you build those relationships and that sisterhood that as you take the court, you feel like you're going to battle together. And so I think there's some really cool opportunities in there. Some people look at them as challenges. I look at it as an incredible opportunity, and we put a really big premium on laying that foundation in that locker room.
I love it. Let's talk about some of those new pieces in the portal. One player that I looked at, Brianna Ware, coming over from Stony Brook, shot 35% on volume from 3, 91st percentile in spot up shooting, 82nd percentile pick and roll ball handler. Somebody who can use the left and right hand. She feels like kind of a dynamic piece for you guys that you added.
Yeah, I would agree with you. She's just got a high IQ. She's got a motor. She's got good athleticism. She's got a great work ethic. She's passionate about the game, but not a one-dimensional player. And so I think the versatility that she has, she's also can be a pusher in transition. I think she's a dynamic passer, but can also score the ball. Has the ability to defend at a pretty high level. And so, we think she's a great pickup for us for sure.
And then there's a bunch of names there, and I don't want to leave anybody off by going through them all and missing
Yeah.
somebody. But a couple other key ones that I just was highlighting. Gift Uchenna. Is it
Yep.
Uchenna?
Yep.
Okay. 14 points, 13 rebounds. I think second in D1 in rebounds per game. What kind of piece is that coming over to the Badgers with one season left for her?
Yeah, well, going into this season, she's the number one rebounder in the country because of Morrow graduating and going on to play. But I think with her athleticism, obviously, that's a positional need for us, and so the ability to get out and go in transition. She's got the ability to score. We want to expand her range for sure, but she's really crafty around the basket. I would say defensively, she's a rim protector. She rebounds at a high level on both the offensive end and defensive end. And so, again, that's a positional need in an area that we're going to need some help from. And so that's exciting. She got invited to play for the Nigerian national team. So she was here with us for a handful of weeks at the beginning of the summer, which was huge as we were laying that foundation. And then selfishly, you hate not to have her with us the whole summer. But as a coach, I think it's important that you support your players when they have an opportunity to do something like that. And so we certainly did, but anxious to get her back here in September and get on the court with her again.
Well, that feels like a big piece. Obviously, Badger fans are familiar with Sarah Williams, who left in the offseason. She feels like Gift is going to give you a little bit more of that size and rebounding to hopefully backfill some of what Williams did last year for the Badgers.
Yeah, she's really rangy. I mean, she's she's got the ability, like I said, to alter shots in the paint. She's really, her timing, her athleticism is, I think, pretty elite. But also her ability to get out and go in transition fits in the tempo that we want to play with. And so that's for a lot of reasons, I think she's a great addition.
Well, it feels like there's a common theme here. Players that can get out and move, get out in transition, defend in space. Another one here, you talk about Kyra Daniels, who shot in a lot of her clips, just pull up three in transition, get to the corner in transition. Feels like that might be a nice weapon for you.
Yeah, we like to shoot the three ball for sure. KD's got just a really special skill set. A lot of incredible intangibles, her leadership, her basketball IQ, her work ethic. I just think she elevates everybody that's around her. I think offensively, obviously shot the three ball at a very high clip. We need to continue to work on her mid-range. I think she's got it in her bag, but she doesn't utilize it probably at the level that we're going to need her to. And just the ability to come off some ball screen action, but also as a bigger guard, being able to, in our positionless system, be able to play with your back to the basket a little bit. And, when you've got some mismatches. And so works really hard defensively, not afraid to get after it, not afraid to work. And I think will help us on the boards as well.
One of the things I was looking at, and I thought this was really interesting, a lot of your portal players, not all of them, but a lot of them have multiple years of eligibility. So you're hopefully helping this year, but building for the future at the same time. Was that something you specifically looked for, or is that just kind of how it fell this year?
I don't think going in when we did, which I think was 2 days after I took the job, you just had to just make sure, you dotted your I's and you crossed your T's. It was, like I said, kind of like speed dating a little bit, but really important that we brought in those right players. We had 3 non-negotiables, okay? And so we were very transparent out of the gates. We talked about wanting to be a team that played in March, and so you certainly had to have a certain skill set that was going to help elevate our program. Number 2, just the importance of really having a passion for the game, not just, the token, oh yeah, I love basketball, but players that had uncommon work ethics, that wanted to do more than what was required, wanted the skill development piece because of how that fits into our system offensively. And so that was going to be really important. And then the third piece was just the environment that we want to have in that locker room. Did we really align in regards to the behaviors and standards that we want to show up with every day? And I think through being so transparent and straightforward, our players really appreciated that. And I think that really, when we had our team retreat, you could tell that they were just craving that kind of environment. We said, as coaches, if we're doing our job right, you come in as teammates, but you're leaving as sisters. And we want to be a staff that competes for championships and gets invited to weddings. And so, just bringing in the players that really wanted that kind of holistic experience in their college playing days was important to us. And I think, the more transparent you can be as a coach, you're going to find out the ones that fit within your system and who doesn't.
I love that because I'm a firm believer that culture is worth 3 to 5 points a game. Like a strong culture will get you a couple extra possessions every game, and I really believe that. Let's talk about Destiny Powell next. Another big piece in this transfer class coming into Madison. But first, a quick second for our friends of the show over at Gametime. If you're trying to get to Camp Randall, if you're trying to get to the Kohl Center to watch Coach P and her team play this year, Gametime is the ultimate source for all of your tickets. And it's not just sports. I've talked about this. You can go to concerts. You can go to theaters. You can go to musicals. You can get tickets to everything over on Gametime. And you can do it cheaper. You can do it easier. You can do it quicker. Get the tickets delivered to your mobile phone, email. It's just the ultimate way to buy tickets now. Don't make it harder on yourself. Don't make it more expensive. Go over to Gametime, buy tickets to any type of experience that you're looking for. You get seats, our pictures of the seats before you sit down so you know exactly what they look like. I've used this. It's an incredible service. And right now you get a great deal. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app. Create an account. Use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms to apply. Again, create an account and redeem code Locked on College for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. All right, let's jump back into this. Another player wanted to hit on, and I'm going to run out of time here in a second. Destiny Howell, again, someone who looks like a shooter, shot 35% on volume, which a lot of people, that's a really important part of this. You have to be able to get shots up. She did that. 15 points per game last year. What is Destiny like as a player coming in?
Yeah, we're really counting on her to be a key player within our system. She's a 3-level scorer, really good passer, high basketball IQ, can defend multiple positions. And so, we think she's going to be a big part of what we do moving forward, likes to play in transition, understands our system. And, I think she's really excited to get out there. Had some rehabbing she had to do this off season. And so didn't have her on the court the way, that we had hoped we would, but, she's making her way back. And I think, no doubt in my mind, we'll be ready to get after it in September. But I think people are going to really enjoy watching her play and the passion that she plays with.
Coach, really appreciate this time. I'm going to kick it back to you. Any other players from that portal class incoming that you'd like to hit on? I know I left some out. It's not purposeful. Anybody else you want to hit on your end?
Yeah, I mean, we're excited about all of them. You could talk at length about all of them. And so I don't want to single anybody out. I can just say that it's a pretty special group of young ladies. They got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. They're excited to lock arms and really proud of the growth that I've seen this in the summer months. We know we have a lot of work to do. And, again, how we show up every day and align in our values and our system is going to be really important. There's no shortcuts, and it's hard to get to where we want to get to. So really special group of young ladies, along with our returning players. I think a lot of people want to talk about the portal, but we've got a special group of returners that have really embraced our staff. And I think, it's just I think that locker room is so important, and I feel really good about where we're at. And we're going to continue to stack the days and get better on the court.
Yeah, great stuff. And Coach, last word here. Any message for Badger fans? They're going to come out and watch a team this year. Like, what kind of team are they going to see?
Oh, man, you said you were running out of time. I could go all day on this one.
I can do.
Just really blessed to be here. I'm as excited today as I was 3 months ago. We're going to work really, really hard for you. We know we have a lot of work to do, but we're going to do it the right way. And we want to build something that's going to last. And it all starts with connectivity, with building a trust, and how you show up every day. And so excited about our recruiting. We've got potentially some exciting news coming up here, hopefully soon. You never know with this 26th class, but, just keep opening the doors. I said I was going to knock on a lot of doors and call a lot of people. It takes a village, and we need everybody to create that environment that's going to be really hard for other people to come in and play here at the Kohl Center.
Absolutely love it. She is Coach Pingeton. I am so, so grateful for the time. I know you got a bunch of stuff going on, but thank you for joining us. New Wisconsin Badgers head women's basketball coach joining the show. Thank you so much, Coach.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Anytime.